Constable, and welcome to another episode of Strong and Sculpted. And today I'm going to be talking with Mr. Mark Getty. Hello, Mark.
Hiya.
About the reasons people fail at fat loss. So, Mark, as you know, I've just launched my new 4-week shred program, and a lot of the girls are asking in the private Facebook group about, you know, can they have this or can they do that, or how much cardio is too much or how much cardio is too little, or should they be, you know, what should their heart rate be when doing cardio? And even though I provided them with all of this information, sometimes it's good to have a little bit of backup or clarification. So tell me, first of all, what your thoughts on are. What are the if you can maybe give me like the top 2 or 3 reasons as to why people fail at fat loss.
Well, firstly, you've actually hit the nail on the head right away. Was the main reason people fail at fat loss not being able to follow a program properly. And this is the truth. I know it sounds a bit hypocritical, but it's true. If somebody has given you the details as to where and what to do in a fat loss program, and you start adding bits and pieces in, you can't physically track and monitor what you're doing right because you don't know.
You say this to me all the time when we're training.
Yes,
you know, if you don't know what your athletes are doing,
you don't know. You know, I've always said to my athletes, pick one person to go with, whether that's me or somebody else, but it will be me, right? Stick to what they say religiously. You know what I mean? If you do something off that program, tell me. These things are all massive tools to help somebody back. It's like taking your program, Kim, and adding a wee bit of somebody else's, and a wee bit of somebody else's, and a wee bit of somebody else's. You've now got a mutant program with no responsibility, no any feedback loops or anything as to what went wrong. Do you know what I mean? Your program's structured in the way you know what people are doing. If people follow it, there's a structure and there's a plan. If things don't work, you can change it knowing the structure and the plan, and this all falls back to accountability. So in my opinion, without going too much into detail, the biggest mistake people make on fat loss programs is not following the program properly. And this causes wee deviations to big deviations. It's a massive, massive mistake that I see all the time in this industry.
Well, I'm going to ask you a very probably un-PC question, but it's something that we were discussing before we went live in this video was, in your opinion, are men or women better at doing what they're told, or is there actually no difference? Because it's my personal belief, and I am a woman, so I think that I can say this. I certainly know that over the years it's taken me a long time to build consistency, persistency, to actually do what I'm told, to not be defiant. But that actually has something I've had to learn. It's a discipline I've had to learn. Whereas someone like my husband, for example, you give him the set of rules and he just follows the rules. So does it depend on the person, the gender, what is it?
So that I come out PC here, I'm going to give the first bit to woman, and I'm going to say that whenever you've got the right woman, if you tell them to run through a wall, they will run through a wall. So if you've got the right athletes in your camp, the right female athletes in your camp, they will do whatever it takes.
And that's not gender specific?
That's not gender specific, right? But in terms of following a program to the T, men are generally better. Do you know what I mean? Basically because they just get on with it. You know, if you tell people that this is the program, this is the training, this is what it is, 78 times out of 10 fellas will just get on with, or women might have a few questions.
Yeah, do you not think that men though are, and this is a little bit off topic, but I have found that, you know, little boys are generally taught more of an accountability than little girls. Little girls they cry and they're let off the hook a little bit more. Little boys are, you know, told man up, big boys
exactly.
Cry,
and I think in this game, and I'm not trying to term this one bit, but I think this is known more as a man's world in terms of the gym and things, and women are only kind of branching into it now. And I think where fellas are concerned is they've that sort of fear of going backwards and fear of it, that if somebody tells them to eat, you know, rice by 200 kilograms, they'll do it because they've that fear of going backwards, they've that fear of failure. Where a lot of women, because they kind of are skitting around the edges a lot of the time, they can get away with more, do you know what I mean? And therefore need that wee bit more assurances as to what and where and why things are happening, do you know what I mean? Where men just kind of go, right, well, I want to get like Mark, so what I have to do to get like Mark, and I can go A, B, C, and D, and A, B, C, and D will be done. Do you know what I mean?
And so tell me then, if someone, say, is on my 4-week shred program, which I know you know a lot about because I've discussed it with you, and what would be one of the main reasons why they would fail? They wouldn't achieve the results that they're expecting, that I'm promising.
Well, changing too many things from the plan for starting with, do you know what I mean, in terms of food groups. You know, at the end of the day, not eating enough protein, eating too much fat and carbs, under-eating again is another big thing, you know, thinking to themselves if they've a binge day on a Saturday because they fell off the program, and then bringing their calories down far too low to compensate during the week. I've had a lot of girls doing this and preps up to shows. They'll have one big massive cheat meal and fall off the wagon on a Sunday and literally drop out all their carbs during the week to try to compensate. This to me is a big no-no, because obviously...
Why is that a big no-no?
Well, you're going to end up, what you'll end up doing is you'll have no energy during the week. So I'm asking you to train a specific way. Kim, you know how hard my workouts are.
I do.
I'm asking you to train like that, and you're eating no carbs, you're eating no food, there's no fuel to fuel these workouts. As a result, as the week goes on, the weights are going down, This then in turns to stalling the metabolism, you know what I mean, losing muscle, stalling the metabolism, which actually then will end up in people going backwards and gaining, or no, staying the same or actually gaining body fat.
Right, and tell me about the cardio. So we only recommend slow, steady state cardio, and I know that's a cardio that you would recommend. First of all, why slow, steady state? Just I want your opinion on it, and also, you know, how would they know that they're right at the top of the fat burning zone when they're doing their slow, steady?
Well, firstly, I like people training hard. So I think if you're doing HIIT or any form of cardio like that, it goes against hard training. If you're trying to do 4 or 5 cardio sessions that are of high intensity, and then you're trying to do one of my leg workouts or one of my back workouts, they don't work, they don't
gel. And I always say you're getting enough inflammation in the gym.
Exactly.
You know,
the weight training alone is to build the muscle. The cardio is there to burn the fat, and that's it, to stimulate the metabolism and burn the fat. Weight builds the muscle, cardio burns and stimulates the fat, you know. So for me, steady state cardio is simple. It's not going to tax the muscles. It's going to be more protein and more muscle sparing, and it will also burn off more fat over a wider period of time, but just fat. Where higher intense forms of cardio might burn more calories, steady state cardio burns more fat because we tap into the fat burning zone. Like you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, the way I work it out is I try to take the people that I have up to the top of the fat burning zone, which usually, and the people that I work with, is between 120 and 145 beats per minute. If you don't have a treadmill, the best way to work this out is if you're doing a fast walk, to know that your sweat should be starting to glisten, a wee bit of a glisten sweat, and you should also be able to hold a conversation, but you should be heavy breathing through it.
Okay, so it's like kind of stop starting a conversation.
Stop starting a conversation, do you know what I mean? And this will enable you to be in the fat burning zone. Another tip I'll have for people as well is, like we were chatting about earlier, rather than starting to walk easily, get out your front door if you're doing this outside and run.
Yeah, that was a really good tip actually. If it's a cold morning,
if it's a cold morning and you've drunk a cold pint of water, rather than walking and making 20 minutes to get into your fat burning zone, run for the first 10 or 15 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it takes, till you become out of breath, and then start walking. This will get you up to your fat burning zone a lot quicker, and it's easier maintaining then through the cardio.
Right, because see, but I just really have to reiterate, this is on a cold morning if you're out walking and you're not on a Stairmaster or whatever, because if I now tell them they're going to start, they have to start running, they'll all start going, you told us not to run,
no, not on a stair, just for the first few minutes, just to get your heart rate elevated.
I would do it to get you warm,
to get your heart rate elevated and to get you ready. Then you can drop it back to a nice brisk walk or a fast-paced walk to keep your heart rate where it's at. So don't be going running on a Stairmaster, because it may not end too well.
I didn't think so.
Definitely not.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this chat with Mark. This guy has prepped more competitive athletes in 1 year than you have had hot dinners. So he knows what he's talking about when it comes to fat burning and muscle building. But now I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of what Mark said? Are you happy that you don't have to run and do HIIT? Or do you love your HIIT and you get bored with slow, steady cardio? Were you surprised what Mark said about the tips about losing body fat? Whatever it is, whatever comments you have, leave them below this video, because we really want to hear from you in the comments so we can have a conversation there. This is Kim Constable, and I will see you next week.